Have you ever sensed that there's more to life than meets the eye? Maybe in a quiet moment, you felt a subtle pull, a curiosity about the deeper meaning behind your experiences, or a sense that the universe is woven with mysteries just waiting to be uncovered. Many people, from all walks of life and every corner of the globe, feel a deep longing to understand the universe and their place within it. This yearning is universal, transcending culture, age, and background. It's a search for purpose, for connection, and for answers to questions that have echoed through humanity for centuries. This is where Kabbalah comes in, a profound tradition that has inspired seekers for thousands of years. Kabbalah is not just a collection of ancient texts or mystical symbols. It is a living, breathing wisdom that continues to illuminate the path for those who seek understanding. Kabbalah is an ancient wisdom that offers a unique perspective on life's biggest questions. It explores the nature of reality, the origins of the universe, and the purpose of our existence. Through its teachings, we are invited to look beyond the surface and discover the hidden patterns that shape our lives. It's often called the science of Kabbalah because it presents a logical, structured system for understanding the hidden laws of existence. Just as science seeks to explain the physical world through observation and reason, Kabbalah seeks to reveal the spiritual laws that govern everything we experience. Kabbalah teaches that the universe operates according to precise principles, much like the laws of physics govern the material world. These spiritual laws are not random or chaotic. They are consistent, reliable, and accessible to anyone willing to study and apply them. By learning about these principles, we can begin to see the interconnectedness of all things, from the tiniest atom to the vastness of the cosmos. By studying these principles, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves, our relationships, and the world around us. Kabbalah encourages us to ask meaningful questions, to reflect on our actions, and to seek harmony within ourselves and with others. It offers practical tools for personal growth, emotional balance, and spiritual awakening. Kabbalah is not a religion, but rather a set of universal truths available to anyone seeking greater meaning and fulfillment in their lives. Its wisdom is open to all, regardless of background or belief. Whether you are spiritual, scientific, or simply curious, Kabbalah invites you to explore its teachings and discover your own path to enlightenment. Throughout history, people have turned to Kabbalah for guidance and insight. From ancient sages to modern thinkers, its teachings have provided comfort, inspiration, and a sense of direction in times of uncertainty. The wisdom of Kabbalah has been carefully preserved, studied, and shared across generations. Its teachings have been passed down through generations, offering wisdom and clarity to those seeking answers to life's mysteries. Families, communities, and individuals have found meaning and connection through the study of Kabbalah, creating a rich tapestry of shared knowledge and experience. Today, more and more people are discovering the transformative power of Kabbalah and its ability to unlock hidden truths about themselves and the universe. In our fast-paced, ever-changing world, Kabbalah offers a timeless source of insight, helping us navigate life's challenges and awaken to our highest potential. Whether you are just beginning your journey or deepening your understanding, the science of Kabbalah invites you to explore, question, and grow. Imagine for a moment a vast and intricate blueprint that maps out the entire universe, not just the stars and galaxies we see in the night sky, but also the invisible threads that connect every part of existence. This blueprint is more than a simple diagram. It's a profound guide to understanding the deepest mysteries of reality, both seen and unseen. It reveals the hidden structure and connections that bind everything together, much like a cosmic web where every point is linked to another, forming a harmonious and purposeful design. Just as a neural network connects countless nodes, the universe is woven together by forces and energies that we are only beginning to comprehend. This is what Kabbalah offers us, a unique and ancient framework for understanding the intricate workings of both the physical and spiritual realms. Kabbalah bridges the gap between science and spirituality, inviting us to explore the layers of reality that exist beyond what our eyes can see or our instruments can measure. It encourages us to look deeper, to meditate on the mysteries of existence, and to seek knowledge that transcends the ordinary. According to Kabbalah, reality is not limited to what we can perceive with our five senses. Our sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell only reveal a fraction of what truly exists. There are entire dimensions and energies that remain hidden from our everyday awareness, waiting to be discovered by those who seek deeper understanding. Instead, Kabbalah describes a multidimensional reality, where spiritual forces constantly interact with the physical world. These forces shape our experiences, influence our thoughts and emotions, and guide the unfolding of events in ways that often escape our notice. The world we inhabit is just one layer among many, each interwoven with the next, creating a tapestry of existence that is both complex and beautiful. These spiritual forces are not random or chaotic. Rather, they are part of a precise and interconnected system, much like the gears of a finely tuned machine or the delicate strands of a spider's web. Every action, every thought, and every event is part of this grand design, contributing to the balance and harmony of the universe. Central to this system is the Tree of Life, a powerful and enduring symbol in Kabbalah. The Tree of Life is not just a mystical image, it is a detailed map of creation itself, illustrating the flow of divine energy and the structure of all existence. The Tree of Life is not a literal tree, but a symbolic representation of how divine energy descends from the highest spiritual realms down to our physical world. Each branch, or sephira, represents a different aspect of creation, and the connections between them show how energy and influence move through the universe, shaping everything from the cosmos to our own lives. By studying and understanding the structure and relationships within the Tree of Life, we can gain profound insights into the hidden forces that shape our lives and the universe itself. Kabbalah invites us to embark on a journey of discovery, unlocking the secrets of existence and finding our place within the grand design of creation. Kabbalah teaches that our physical world is just one level of reality. Beyond our immediate perception lie higher, spiritual realms known as the upper worlds. These realms are not distant places, but rather different states of consciousness that interpenetrate and influence our own. Imagine a series of concentric circles, with our physical world at the center. The upper worlds surround us, each representing a higher level of spiritual awareness and connection to the source of creation. These realms are not empty or abstract, but filled with spiritual forces and energies that constantly interact with our world. Just as the sun's rays nourish and sustain life on Earth, the energies from the upper world sustain and influence our world on every level. Understanding this connection helps us appreciate the interconnectedness of all things and recognize the unseen forces shaping our lives. In Kabbalah, the spiritual and physical realms are not separate entities, but rather two sides of the same coin. They are deeply intertwined, each reflecting and influencing the other in ways that are both subtle and profound. The spiritual world is not some distant abstract place, but is woven into the very fabric of our everyday lives, manifesting through our experiences, emotions, and actions. Every action we take, every thought we have, creates ripples that extend beyond our immediate perception, impacting both the physical and spiritual realms. Even the smallest gesture or fleeting thought can set off a chain reaction, influencing not only our own journey, but also the lives of those around us. Our intentions, whether positive or negative, send out waves that shape the world in ways we may never fully realize. This principle is often referred to as above, so below. It means that what happens in the higher spiritual realms is mirrored in the physical world and vice versa. The universe is a vast, interconnected web where every part reflects the whole. By observing the patterns in nature and within ourselves, we can gain insight into the deeper spiritual truths that govern existence. Just as a stone thrown into a pond creates ripples that spread outward, our actions create ripples in the fabric of reality. These ripples may start small, but over time, they can reach far beyond what we can see, touching people and places we may never know. Our choices, words, and deeds are powerful tools for shaping both our inner world and the world around us. These ripples influence the flow of spiritual energy, affecting not only our own lives, but also the world around us. When we act with kindness, compassion, and awareness, we help to create a current of positive energy that uplifts ourselves and others. Conversely, negative actions or thoughts can disrupt this flow, creating disharmony and imbalance. The energy we put out into the world is never lost. It continues to circulate, shaping the reality we all share. Understanding this interconnectedness empowers us to take responsibility for our actions and recognize the profound impact we have on the world. We are not isolated beings, but part of a greater whole, connected to each other and to the universe itself. By becoming more mindful of our thoughts and behaviors, we can choose to be a force for healing, growth, and transformation. By aligning our thoughts and actions with the principles of Kabbalah, we can create positive change within ourselves and contribute to a more harmonious and fulfilling world. Each moment offers us the opportunity to bring more light, love, and understanding into our lives and the lives of others. In this way, the interplay of the spiritual and physical becomes a dance of creation, inviting us to participate consciously in the unfolding of a better reality for all. The Kabbalistic tree of life is a diagrammatic representation of the structure and dynamic of existence, according to Kabbalah. It illustrates the flow of divine energy, also known as Ein Sof, from the infinite source to the material world through 10 sephirot, nodes, and 22 paths. These sephirot represent different aspects of God and the universe, and the paths connect them, signifying the relationship between these aspects. Key aspects of the tree of life. The 10 sephirot are arranged in 3 columns, representing different qualities or categories of existence, God or the human psyche. The 22 paths connect the sephirot, symbolizing the relationships and requirements for moving between different levels of existence or understanding. The tree of life is a map of how divine energy flows from the source, Keter, through the 10 sephirot to the physical world, Malkut. It serves as a framework for understanding the universe, God's nature, and the human purpose. The tree of life also illustrates how human actions can influence and repair the divine system, a concept known as tikkun. The tree of life is a visual representation of how God's energy flows into the world. It emphasizes human potential to influence and transform the world through intention and action. The tree of life can be used as a guide for spiritual growth and understanding. It reveals the fundamental principles governing the universe. In essence, the tree of life is a powerful symbolic tool for understanding the interconnectedness of all things, the flow of divine energy, and the human role in shaping reality. Kabbalists believe the tree of life to be a diagrammatic representation of the process by which the universe came into being. On the tree of life, the beginning of the universe is placed in a space above the first sphere, named Keter or crown in English. To Kabbalists, it symbolizes that point beyond which our comprehension of the origins of being cannot go. It is considered to be an infinite nothingness, out of which the first thing, usually understood by Kabbalists to be something approximating energy, exploded to create a universe of multiple things. Kabbalists also do not envision time and space as pre-existing and place them at the next 3 stages on the tree of life. First is Keter, which is thought of as the product of the contraction of Ein Sof into a singularity of infinite energy or limitless light. In the Kabbalah, it is the primordial energy out of which all things are created. The next stage is Chokmah, or wisdom in English, which is considered to be a stage at which the infinitely hot and contracted singularity expanded forth into space and time. It is often thought of as a pure dynamic energy of an infinite intensity, forever propelled forth at a speed faster than light. Next comes Bina, or understanding in English, which is thought of as the primordial feminine energy, the supernal mother of the universe, which receives the energy of Chokmah, cooling and nourishing it into the multitudinous forms present throughout the whole cosmos. It is also seen as the beginning of time itself. Numbers are very important to Kabbalists, and the Hebrew letters of the alphabet also have a numerical value. Each stage of the emanation of the universe on the tree of life is numbered meaningfully from 1, Ta, Keter, to 10, Malkuth. Each number is thought to express the nature of its sphere. The first 3 spheres, called the supernal spheres, are considered to be the primordial energies of the universe. The next stages of evolution on the tree of life are considered to exist beyond a space on the tree, called the abyss, between the supernals and the other spheres, because their levels of being are so distinct from each other that they appear to exist in 2 totally different realities. The supernal spheres exist on a plane of divine energy. This is why another correspondence for Bina is the idea of suffering, because the supernal maternal energy gives birth to a world that is inherently excluded from that divine union. After Bina, the universe begins building the materials it will need to fulfill its evolution, and it creates new combinations of those materials until it is so dense that, by the stage of Malkuth, the initial pure, limitless energy has solidified into the physical universe. Since its energies are the basis of all creation, the tree of life can potentially be applied to any area of life, especially the inner world of man, from the subconscious all the way to what Kabbalists call the higher self. The tree of life speaks not only of the origins of the physical universe out of the unimaginable, but also of humanity's place in it. Since man is invested with a mind, consciousness in the Kabbalah is thought of as the fruit of the physical world, through whom the original infinite energy can experience and express itself as a finite entity. After the energy of creation has condensed into matter, it is thought to reverse its course back up the tree until it is once again united with its true nature, Keter. Thus, the Kabbalist seeks to know himself and the universe as an expression of God, and to make the journey of return using the stages charted by the spheres, until he has come to the realization he sought. Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered, where did all this come from? It's a question that has captivated humans for millennia. The vastness of space, the twinkling stars, the sheer scale of the universe. It fills us with awe and a deep sense of mystery. We crave to know our origins. We long to understand the forces that brought about our planet, our sun, our galaxy, and everything beyond. This quest for understanding has led us down two seemingly different paths, the path of science and the path of spirituality. In this exploration, we'll journey down both paths, discovering how modern science and the ancient wisdom of Kabbalah, a mystical tradition within Judaism, offer fascinating and surprisingly complementary perspectives on the creation of the universe. The Torah, the central text of Judaism, begins with the book of Genesis, a poetic account of creation. In Genesis, God speaks the universe into existence, a universe brimming with order and purpose. Let there be light, God says, and light appears. Day and night are separated. Earth takes shape, followed by oceans, plants, and animals. Finally, humans are created, the pinnacle of creation. This story, passed down through generations, emphasizes the power of a divine creator. It provides a framework for understanding our place in the cosmos. We are part of a deliberate act of creation, interconnected with all life. Kabbalah, a mystical tradition within Judaism, delves deeper into the creation story, offering a perspective that goes far beyond the literal words of the Torah. It invites us to look beneath the surface, to seek hidden meanings and spiritual truths that have fascinated seekers for centuries. In Kabbalah, the act of creation is not a simple event, but a more complex and dynamic process, a kind of cosmic dance of energy and consciousness, unfolding in layers and stages. This dance is filled with mystery, beauty, and profound symbolism. At the heart of Kabbalah is the concept of Ein Sof, a Hebrew term meaning without end or infinite. Ein Sof represents the boundless, limitless source of all existence, a reality so vast and transcendent that it is beyond human comprehension or definition. Ein Sof is the ultimate source of everything, the wellspring from which all creation flows. It is pure, undifferentiated light existing before time, space, or any form of separation. From this infinite source, 10 Sephirot emerge. These are not physical objects, but spiritual vessels or channels through which divine energy is expressed and shaped. Each Sephira acts as a unique filter, coloring the light of Ein Sof in a different way. The Sephirot represent different aspects of creation and the divine, such as wisdom, understanding, loving kindness, strength, beauty, and more. Together, they form the structure of the spiritual universe, known as the Tree of Life. According to Kabbalah, the process of creation begins with the contraction of Ein Sof, a self-limiting act that makes space for the Sephirot to emerge. This contraction, called Tzimtzum, allows the infinite to give rise to the finite. Yet, during this process, some of the Sephirot cannot contain the intense divine light and shatter, scattering countless sparks of holiness throughout the universe. This event is known as the shattering of the vessels. Our purpose as humans is to help gather these scattered sparks of divine light to repair and restore wholeness to the cosmos. a process called tikkun olam. Through acts of kindness, learning, and spiritual growth, we participate in this sacred mission, bringing light and unity back into the world. Now, let's shift gears and explore the scientific perspective. For centuries, humanity has gazed up at the night sky, wondering how it all began. Today, science offers us a remarkable story, one that starts with a single, extraordinary event. Modern cosmology, the study of the universe's origins and its vast structure, points to an event called the Big Bang. This theory is the foundation of our current understanding of how everything we see came to be. Imagine, if you can, all the matter, energy, space, and even time itself compressed into a single, unimaginably dense point, far smaller than an atom, yet containing everything that would ever exist. Then, about 13.8 billion years ago, this point underwent a sudden, rapid expansion. In an instant, space itself began to stretch, time started ticking, and the fundamental forces of nature, gravity, electromagnetism, and the nuclear forces, emerged. Evidence for the Big Bang comes from several key observations. First, we see that galaxies are moving away from each other, suggesting the universe is still expanding, just as the theory predicts. Second, there's the cosmic microwave background radiation, a faint afterglow of the Big Bang itself, filling the universe with a nearly uniform low-level light that we can still detect today. Third, the abundance of light elements like hydrogen and helium matches what we would expect if they were forged in the intense heat of the universe's first few minutes. The discovery of the cosmic microwave background radiation in 1964 was a turning point. Two scientists, Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson, stumbled upon this faint signal while working with a radio antenna, not realizing at first that they had found the oldest light in the universe. This radiation is like a faint whisper of light, a relic from the early universe, traveling across billions of years and reaching us from a time just a few 100,000 years after the Big Bang. In a sense, this is the primeval light, the first illumination of the cosmos, an echo of creation itself, still shining faintly all around us, connecting us to the very birth of the universe. Our exploration of the universe takes another fascinating turn as we venture into the world of string theory, a concept that challenges our very understanding of reality and the fabric of existence itself. This groundbreaking theoretical framework in physics is an ambitious attempt to unify all the fundamental forces of nature: gravity, electromagnetism, the strong and weak nuclear forces, into a single, elegant theory. For decades, scientists have sought a way to connect these forces, and string theory offers a tantalizing possibility. At the heart of string theory lies a radical idea. The fundamental building blocks of the universe are not tiny, indivisible points, but unimaginably small, vibrating strings of energy. These strings are so minuscule that, if an atom were the size of our solar system, a string would be the size of a tree. Just as a violin string can produce a variety of musical notes depending on how it vibrates, the different vibrational patterns of these fundamental strings give rise to the diverse particles and forces we observe in nature. Every particle, from electrons to quarks, is simply a different note played by these cosmic strings. Here's where things become truly mind-bending. String theory requires the existence of not just the familiar 3 dimensions of space and 1 of time, but a total of 10 dimensions for its mathematics to work out. These extra dimensions are essential for the theory's internal consistency. In our everyday experience, we move through only 4 dimensions, 3 spatial, up and down, left and right, forward and backward, and 1 dimension of time, which always moves forward. So where are the other 6 dimensions that string theory predicts? Why don't we see or feel them in our daily lives? String theorists believe these extra dimensions are curled up or compactified into incredibly tiny shapes, so small that they're hidden from our senses and even our most advanced scientific instruments. They may be all around us, woven into the very fabric of reality, waiting to be discovered as our understanding and technology advance. To grasp the concept of hidden dimensions, let's consider gravity. Isaac Newton described gravity as a force of attraction between objects with mass. Albert Einstein revolutionized our understanding of gravity with his general theory of relativity. Einstein showed that gravity is not a force acting at a distance, but rather a curvature of space-time caused by mass and energy. Imagine a bowling ball placed on a stretched rubber sheet. The ball creates a dip in the sheet, and if you roll a marble nearby, it will curve toward the bowling ball. This is analogous to how gravity works. The more massive an object, the more it distorts space-time. This distortion is what we experience as gravity. While general relativity works well for describing gravity on large scales, it breaks down at the quantum level, the realm of atoms and subatomic particles. This is where quantum mechanics comes into play. Quantum mechanics describes the bizarre and counterintuitive behavior of matter and energy at the smallest scales. Particles can exist in multiple states at once, and their behavior is governed by probabilities rather than certainties. The challenge for physicists is to find a way to unify general relativity and quantum mechanics, to create a single theory that can describe gravity at all scales. This is where string theory comes in, offering a potential bridge between these two pillars of modern physics. Now let's revisit Kabbalah and its description of creation. Remember the 10 Sephirot, the vessels of divine energy? Kabbalah teaches that during the process of creation, some of these Sephirot shattered, scattering sparks of divine light. Interestingly, the number of broken Sephirot is 7, the same number of hidden dimensions proposed by string theory. Is this just a coincidence? Or could there be a deeper connection? Some scholars and mystics see a parallel here. Just as the broken Sephirot represent a fragmentation of divine unity, the hidden dimensions in string theory suggest a reality beyond our ordinary perception, a reality that is curled up and concealed. As we've journeyed through the realms of science and spirituality, we've encountered profound mysteries and intriguing connections. Both Kabbalah and modern science seek to answer the fundamental question: how did everything begin? Kabbalah offers a mystical and metaphorical explanation, while science relies on observation, experimentation, and mathematical models. Yet both approaches reveal a universe far grander and more complex than our everyday experience might suggest. Perhaps, in the end, science and spirituality are not so different. They are two different lenses through which we view the same awe-inspiring reality. And as we continue to explore the universe, both within and beyond ourselves, we may find that the greatest mysteries are often the most beautiful and inspiring. The substance of the book concerns the attributes of God and a general introduction to the idea of the origin of the divine names, with a brief explanation of the Hebrew letters. This leads us to an introduction to the 72 divine names of God and their importance, as well as the notion of the names having individual power in their own right, personified as geniuses or angels. A series of tables then allows the reader to work out their personal geniuses, which govern the body, mind, and morality. The major part of the book is a detailed explanation of each of the 72 geniuses and their attributes. This section was copied wholesale by Robert Ambelin when he wrote his seminal book, La Kabbale Pratique. Following a review of the geniuses of the third class, the elemental ones, there follow a series of lists of correspondences ranging from incenses, Kabbalistic astrological associations, precious stones, metals, colors, and animals. The book ends somewhat abruptly with an etymology of the name Jehovah, or Yod-He-Vav-He. Curiously, despite Lenin's apparent promise in his preface to show the reader how to use all this information in rituals, in reality his work, apart from a hint when he discusses the mysterious seal of the sun, only provides the method of identifying one's personal geniuses. It would appear that he intended to go into far more detail and provide seals or sigils to be used in the operations of communicating with these geniuses once they had been identified. But unfortunately, the follow-up book was never forthcoming. This, of course, opened the way for both the Golden Dawn and the Martinist order to create their own. In Kabbalah, the 7 candles on the menorah symbolize the 7 lower Sephirot, which are divine emanations or attributes of God. These Sephirot are often linked to aspects of human experience and creation, representing different levels of understanding and manifestation. The menorah itself, with its 7 branches, is a symbol of the divine light illuminating the world and guiding people towards spiritual enlightenment. The 7 branches of the menorah represent the 7 lower Sephirot, often interpreted as the 7 lower divine emanations. The Sephirot are considered the divine attributes or expressions that bring God's power into the world. The menorah's light is seen as a symbol of God's presence and guidance, illuminating the path towards spiritual growth. Kabbalists often focus on the material of the oil, which provides the light, as a way to understand the reconciliation of the one God with the 10 Sephirot. The temple menorah, with its 7 branches, was a central part of Jewish religious life in the ancient temple in Jerusalem. While the traditional 7-branched menorah is a symbol of the temple, the Hanukkah menorah, with 9 branches, commemorates the miracle of the oil that allowed the temple lights to burn for 8 days.